Hey everybody, this is Jennifer, and today I was going to talk to you a little bit about Project Life by Stampin' Up. And in fact, I'm actually going to start out by talking a little bit about Project Life in general, because I know there's a lot of people that are watching this that maybe have heard of Project Life but don't really know what it is or aren't super familiar. If you're one of the people that you already know all about Project Life, you're super gung-ho, then just a little bit through this I'll be talking about the difference between Project Life by Stampin' Up and the other Project Life kits that you've seen out there that you may have at home. And then I'll actually walk through doing a layout so that everybody gets a chance to see what that is like. So Project Life was actually originally started by Becky Higgins. So if you've heard about this partnership with Stampin' Up, that's why it's really awesome that Becky Higgins, the creator, is working with us so that we can really stay true to the idea of Project Life and know that we're going to have really high quality elements to what we have. Becky started out with the idea that a lot of us take pictures. A lot of us may print our pictures, but we don't always do a great job of putting them in albums or scrapbooking them. Especially if you are like me, you maybe have your pictures and you've printed them out and then they sit in some kind of container or in the original photo sleeve that you get from Target or Walmart or Costco or wherever you got them from. So this is a way, she thought, I want to make it really easy for people to get them off their cameras, off their computers, and into a pretty page. And so her concept was, instead of having one big 12 by 12 sheet, you have these pocket pages where you have spaces for 4x6s. There are matching 4x6 cards, so you don't even have to do much if you don't want to get it started. And then you have these sleeves for 3x4 cards. This is actually where I've cut one in half, a 4x6, so that it fit in each of these. So that then you could just take your pictures, and then on any particular event, so like this is when I went to leadership earlier this year, is that you can go through and just start drop in your pictures, and then have these cards that you can write in your notes, and you have your memories down in something that's cute and easy to look at going forward. So the idea that she had was that each of these 2-page spreads, sorry about the glare a little bit here, this is meant to be 1 week so that you can be scrapbooking your everyday life and you have an easy way to kind of get those down in an album. And you know what things are like, not just what birthdays and Christmases look like, but what your life was actually like at this time. And when you're doing it this way, where you're just dropping things in pockets, it's actually really quick and it's pretty easy to do. Excuse me. The way that these kits work, Becky Higgins started out with what was called a core kit. They came in these big boxes and they have like 600 and some odd cards. And mostly what you get is you get 3x4 cards and you get 4x6 in her core kits. The thing that's interesting about those in the kits, for each 4x6, they're front and back, but you would get something like 5 or 6 of every single print. Same for the 3x4s, you'd have front and backs, but then you'd get something like 10 of each of those. And I don't know about you, but for me, I just don't need that many of the same pattern. So that's why I was kind of excited when I heard that Stampin' Up's kits give you these front and back cards, but they only give you one, you only have one of each pattern. So if there's a pattern I don't like, I don't have to sit there and figure out how in the world am I going to use up 10 of this pattern. Yes, in some cases I'll see something that I love and I maybe would want to use it more than once, but you know, I'd rather use up all the other things that I have and find ways to decorate, and then instead of spending money on a whole bunch of stuff that I don't want. So these are just some of the cards that Stampin' Up has. Some of the things that's also different or interesting is that Stampin' Up, you've noticed, these have square corners. If you buy Project Life kits or any of the pocket page kits from any other company out there, they're all going to be the rounded corners. So this is actually kind of nice because you can choose to whether you want to have square corners so it matches your photos, or you can get, Stampin' Up has a corner rounder punch, which is new, and it's actually meant to exactly match the curve of Project Life cards. So you can see I have some, these were made with some Project Life supplies that I had before Stampin' Up came out with them, is this has a rounded edge, and if I cut any of my Stampin' Up cards using this punch, they will all have the exact same edge, which is great. So you can kind of have your choice on whether you do curved or whether you do straight. The other thing that Stampin' Up! Has that's different is we have built into this initial kit, you have 4x4 cards as well. So you have that option to use to kind of mix and match. And if you get the variety pack of page protectors, there are some pages that have 4x6, so it'd be like a 4x6, a 4x6, and a 4x6, and then you'd have 4x4s in the middle, and then 2 more 4x6s. And you'll actually see that in my sample that I show that. So one thing I mentioned, the box that Becky Higgins had, that a lot of times you either get just in plastic sleeves or you'll get the big boxes. I really like this box, the way that Becky and Stampin' Up! Have decided to put these together, because it stands up nicely on your desk and all of your cards fit in. And there's actually even a little slot where you can put your pens. So if you have any of, whether you get the Project Life journaling pens or your own pens, they fit nicely in here. You have a lid, stick it down, and then you can store this. You can write the names for each of your kits on the side if you want to organize that way. Or you can just leave it sitting out on your desk so that you can work with it. So that's kind of a fun little, it just is more convenient and takes up less space for me, which I like. The other thing, for those of you that are familiar with Project Life, that's different, and if you're not familiar with it, something that's really great is that each of our kits, right now you can get the Everyday Adventures kit, but there's also going to be 4 more kits that come out starting June 2nd, is that you can get these accessory packs. And they're all different dependent on your kit. Most of them have some kind of specialty cards. So in this case, you have these die cut cards. This one says "Life is an Adventure." You know, your best day ever. Just kind of fun cutouts. You have alphabets. So these are alphabet stickers. You have other stickers to accessorize with. And like I said, these are all different on the different kits. This is just this one. These are little window sheet clear pieces that you can lay over. And then you have a roll of washi tape, which I had taken out. And then you have these wood chip veneers that are kind of fun to put layer over onto your projects. You have little paper clips, and you have stickers. So you actually have a whole lot to work with here, which is kind of fun. And so I like them because I'm a big kit worker. I'm somebody who likes to have a kit where I know everything is going to match, and it gives me options for adding some dimension and accessorizing what I have. And the nice thing with these is that since I have a lot of Stampin' Up! In my craft room, I can go through and say, oh hey, let me get some Bermuda Bay or some Melon Mambo or whatever the colors may be that I want to use. And I know that they're going to kind of go along with this. I know that I have stamps and punches that are similar in design, papers and things, so that I know that they can all coordinate, or I can go grab my ribbons. So you can decorate however you'd like, but it's nice to have these options that you can kind of pick up to go with it. I'm really excited. One of the other kits that's coming out actually has cork letters, which I'm a sucker for cork, so I think that'll be really fun. So that's the summary of kind of Stampin' Up's Project Life, some of the big differences. And I think that they'll be really great to work with, and so I'm looking forward to playing with them more. You can use them for cards, you can use them for other projects, not just this, but I'll actually have a different video where I show some ideas there.